man. Yes, the video game. Now, the video game, if you don't know what it is like Power World. It's like Rust with dinosaurs. All right, you survive. It's a survival-based world with dinosaurs involved, and your goal basically is to level up armor, animals, just keep growing until you reach a point where you can't grow anymore. Now, like these other survival based games, they don't really have a narrative, chat. And why am I talking about a narrative? Why am I talking about plot? All right. It's almost like talking about plot when it comes to porn. No one cares. All right. No one cares about the plot of Ark. No one cares about the story of Rust. These survival games have one objective: to survive, to fight against players, to fight against the environment, and to survive. Well, recently Paramount has come out with their own animated series around the video game. Now, when the idea comes to their head, Ark Survival Evolved, the animated series, when when that when that is pitched to you, when that is said to you, anybody who has played the game is just asking one simple question: why? Why? Because the game doesn't have a narrative. The game barely has an objective. The game is filled with like racist and bigoted people. You cannot fathom like a person who have actually played the game cannot fathom a narrative to spin around it. Couldn't tell me the most dedicated Arc player couldn't even spin a tale convoluted enough, good enough to belong on television, let alone get its own animated series. Now, a lot has happened in this 2024. We've been plagued with these shows that are based off of well known, well perpetuated narratives, well known series, and I, they've been all been shit, for lack of a better word. They've just been garbage. Avatar's reboot is garbage. Any person who's watched the new Avatar reboot thinks it's garbage. This is not my opinion. Even though this is my opinion, this is just the consensus. When you are trying to do your own thing with a tale that has already been told, with a narrative like Avatar, with a narrative like Halo, with these narratives that have been already been told, where the story is done, has reached its end, and the this where it once is coming from has already been perpetuated so much. Trying to do your own thing within that is damn near impossible. It's almost like clickbait to even insinuate you're going to do something other than what has already been created. When people think Avatar: The Last Airbender, they're thinking of the animated series. When people are thinking Halo, they're thinking of the video game. Halo does have a narrative. Halo does have a campaign. Halo does have objective. Does have a lore. Same goes with Avatar. Avatar has a huge fan base. Avatar has plenty of lore. Has 4 books. But when you try to do something using a well-known topic, but straying away from an already told narrative about that topic, you're going to get some side eyes. You're going to get some, like, this is not what it's supposed to be. It's almost like if somebody were to tell you about your life through their eyes. You know, they could tell you what they saw, what they experienced with you, but only you know why you did the things you did. Only you know the full story of encompassing I did this because of this and this. And to say I'm going to tell the story of your life, but I'm going to use my spin on things. It's like your spin on things. There is no spin on things. It's my life. There's there's zero spin. You know, it's it's very very hard, I would say, in the space of media, of entertainment, to do these things, to to write a to rewrite a story that has already been written. But Ark, unlike those shows, those video games already mentioned, doesn't have a story. Or if it does, at least that has not been perpetuated enough to be something that most Ark players, when they play the game, are coming to. You know? When you think of God of War has a story. God of War has a story. People may play God of War for that action. People may play God of War for the animation. But a lot of people, whether you play God of War for either of those, the story's being told, and it's very hard to ignore. These survival games don't really have a story. They have a premise, which is survival, but they don't have a story. And I think Arc, the anime series, you know, when you think of something like this, you think of some Teen Titans Go level of nonsense, you know? But Arc the Animated Series is actually solid. It's actually a solid pick, bro. I watched the first episode. This shit is good. This shit is good. When I first heard Arc the Animated Series, I almost committed seppuku because I felt dishonored. You know, I thought this can't be real. This honestly can't be real. Why are we making animated series around shit that doesn't have a story? I was blown away. Animation spectacular. All right. The story, I'm like, how? I'm honestly wondering how they were able to come up with this. When I join art, I'm being called the N word 5 times before I even leave the beach. But they somehow took that and made it into an actual watchable show. I'm amazed. I'm amazed. So that's all I'm gonna say about that, man. I'm gonna say about Ark Survival Evolved. If you haven't watched the animated series, I highly recommend you do. This shit is actually good. When you don't have a story that's already been perpetuated, a narrative that has already been perpetuated, and you're able to take creative liberty with a show, with something that's already been so widely acclaimed, it leaves so much room for growth, for just creativity, just for anything. And I love it. I love it, honestly. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about Arc. We're gonna move on, chat. We're gonna move on. We got a lot of shit to